How do you know someone's a vegan? How do you know someone's a Jew? How do you know someone's, I don't know, what are the other insufferable things? Oh,
My race, my religion. Yeah. So I guess I missed it when.
So which is it? Is it a race or a religion? That's kind of weird. Is it a race or is it a religion? Or is it just like got all the bases covered for protection? Inquiring minds want to know. And they could fast track or log jam whatever they wanted to fast track and whatever they wanted to log jam. It's almost like the Bolshevik Jewish revolution is happening in America. It's almost just like, I don't know, yours truly has warned people about these things. At what point in time are people going to start going, yeah, this guy seems to have his finger on the pulse of things? You know, I'm going to have to start my own GS was right jar, you know, like where you put $1 in the jar every time it turns out I was right about some shit. And the weird part about it is I'm just doing wild ass guesses half the time. I'm doing predictive guesses of if human nature is thus, and if these things are happening and these variables seem to be present in all of us, then this is likely what's happening or what has happened or what will happen. You know, you don't even have to be a genius. You just have to not be a window licker to freaking figure out what's going on, Chris. So don't pat me on the back about, you know, being a genius or anything like that. And in fact, you should actually pat yourself on the head and go, there, little bunny. Why are you such a muppet that you couldn't figure this out yourself? I'd buy that for $1. Oh, it is with a Nazi. That's so wow. That's interesting. Wow, that's really I never knew it was spelled like like Nazi. Well, that makes a lot of sense now. Whoa. Is that where the term Nazi came from? Even though it's not, it's National Socialist, but they call them Nazis. But they're Ashkenazi Jews. Ooh. Uh-oh. Maybe I was more right than I thought I was, guys. Maybe I was more on to that it was a Holocaust. It was a fully burnt offering to Moloch or to Baal, and they sacrificed real Jews in those fires. Oh. 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 All right, we got to do some research on this. Synagogue of Satan does sacrifices all the time. Matter of fact, they sacrificed a lot of people during World War II. They called it the Holocaust, by the way, which is Yiddish or ancient Hebrew. Holocaust meaning a fully burnt offering. It might not be ancient Hebrew, but the Holocaust, the meaning of that word means a fully burnt offering, folks. Wake up. Wake up. A fully burnt offering. Well, it's kind of weird because the last offering that was required, Jesus made that sacrifice. So it was no longer required or necessary to burn offerings. So exactly who were they burning during the Holocaust? And who were they offering it to? God no longer required a fully burnt offering as a sacrifice because the perfect lamb was the last sacrifice. So was it Moloch? Was it Baal?
I'm going to pause it right here for a moment. So here's my plan. I am not going to get. I'm not going to. I'm not going to go up on Todd's panel. We're going to stream it here. If he has questions for me, he can watch and he can, and I will answer them here. I'm not going to be subjected to Brick and Doc's and Todd's disingenuousness, shouting down, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. That's my devious plan for Todd. I know, so evil. I should be put away for that one. That's the idea right now. We'll see how he reacts. Okay. Sorry, I'm having weird sound issues, and I'm not sure where they're coming from. It's in my own brain.
Basically, I think if I'm correct, the premise was that these people over there are no better than the same people that would have ratted out Anne Frank, the people that worked for George Soros, who ran around and ratted out his own fellow Jews in order to curry favor with the German, and that's well documented, by the way. G2,
Yep.
Go fuck yourself, you Soros paid Marxist communist piece of shit. Go eat a fucking whole bag of dicks. Oh, those that be that have the program, they don't care about your age. They don't care about your sex. They don't care about your race. They don't care about your gender. They don't care about your pronouns. They just care that you spoke truth against what they perceive as their power. So they will come to destroy you. They will come to destroy you. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. So the question is this, right? Here's my question. Who the F is profiting from putting the American people into debt slavery? Well, I've got some ideas on it. There's a certain guy who doesn't like it when I talk about certain machinations of certain people that like to do certain things. Call them the Yarmulke Americans if you want to. That's fine. Yeah. I call them the synagogue of Satan. Synagogue of Satan is behind all of this. Think about the fact that the promise of our future has been given. Yeah, the promise of our children's future and our children's children's future has been given away. Okay, everybody, let's see. Let's go over and let me share Speed Ray Dog. Stuff with y'all. I'm not seeing the chat right now, so. Copy. No, Scott Amo, I am not going into an ambush with Brick and Doc and Todd. They can ask their questions, they can snipe me as I snipe them, and address things. Let's see. Let me see if I can find that knucklehead. Is he live yet? Do y'all know? Yes, Salacious. Sorry, I looked. Well, I mean, Lefty, they're that's why I wouldn't go up there, is because they're disingenuous. And after everything that he's talked about my kid and me and everything, you think I'm gonna do anything he wants me to do?
Oh, there it is. Let me clear my throat. Let me unshare that. No, I mean, I'm sorry to disappoint anybody, but let me see. Zoom, zoom, and the boom, boom. That should work. And to stage. Try this. Does that work for everybody? That layout? Let's unmute this.
The amount of things that you could learn on this.
And I'm going to speed him up.
All right, folks, out of respect for the people's time in the basement right now, I want to kind of get this rolling as soon as possible. I'm going to skip the whole generally specific intro. I will give some marching orders to my mods. There is one person that will hide. The only thing I would say, and that person knows what they're doing and they have permission to hide. Everyone else, you can time them out, ping pong them a little bit. If they say something that's a terms of service violation, please make sure you screenshot it first or take a little, phone shot of it. Or at least let them know, hey, use different words, give them 5 minutes for shouting, that kind of thing like that. If anyone has any questions, there will be a Q&A response time at the end. I still don't see Greg showing up, so apparently he has declined this offer to partake in this, which is fine. Because we don't need him here for that. I'm sure he's got a plan, and I'm guessing his plan is to take down his video, or they're probably already taken down. Or
Take down my video. I don't take shit down. What?
or he's going to try to take it down right in the middle of me showing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I have contingency plans, as most good leaders should have, as a contingency plan. And we'll see if, inshallah, God willing, whether or not that contingency plan will follow through.
Inshallah, Todd. Oh, no. You said a Arabic term. Did the people who command detonated the ID that blew your commander in half say inshallah after it was done? Oh no, Todd, you're being a hypocrite.
The purpose of this discussion today is for me to learn, primarily for me to learn. While it might be a debate in some people's eyes, it's an opportunity for me to learn something about God, about the Bible, about Jews, about Gentiles, about the scriptures that I may not have known before. So going into it right now, that's my goal, is to learn. I'm seeking to learn, and I'm approaching it that way. It's going to be less about me, quote unquote, debating, because I think that'd be like sending me into battle with my shoelaces tied, no weapon in my hand, to a certain extent. That does not mean that I might not have a couple questions, or I might have a little bit of pushback in order to seek a better answer, not due to lack of it being explained poorly, but perhaps my inability to understand those with a higher understanding than I have. That said, I once again, I offer G2 an opportunity to come up here. I did see a very interesting message that, in one of those little backyard Discord things that, that G2 was planning on being here or making an appearance or making a statement one way or another without being there. So I'm not sure if that means he's going to try to mass report my channel, or if he's just going to be stream sniping from the other side, which is fine, because I would look forward to kind of hearing his response. Trouble is that he won't stand 10 toes. Every time I've invited him to have a conversation with me, he's fled.
Just okay, Todd.
Every time I've asked him to knock it off, I can't get rid of him. He's kind of like herpes, the gift keeps on giving in that regard. That said, I don't know what his plan is, but I do know that there were other channels that are having every intention to want to come in and try to brigade, or at least that's what they've said. Whether that's going to be true or not, it remains to be seen. I'd like to do some housekeeping. Miss Elizabeth McClellan has gifted 1 membership, and that membership has gone to Pumpin' Vinyl. Congratulations, Pumpin' Vinyl. Welcome aboard. And yeah, let's go. Let's get it on.
I have been chosen. Farewell, my friends. I go on to a better place.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up my guests in order of respect. No offense, Brick, but I would put this man above myself because I have that much respect for him. So I'm going to bring up D-Doc, who was in the channel before I even was in the channel. Peace and respect, brother. And of course, we have Brick Jones. All right, outstanding. We have Brick Jones, and we have the ability to have G2 in here. I will treat him with the utmost respect on this panel. Is this so? Is it DoorDash? Is that how you're going to show up? Is it DoorDash? Are you DoorDash to me, G2? What am I eating? Is it a glitter bomb? Oh, what is it? Oh, it's going to get wet. All right. I don't know, baby. If you want to go out there, I can't leave right at the moment. Oh, it's just a box. I wonder if it's a glitter bomb. Do you think it'd be like a glitter bomb of a bunch of dicks? Isn't that what happened to Chris Ryder?
Hope it's no dead animals.
Yeah, I'll get it, honey. You don't worry about that. I'll handle it. We'll risk letting it get wet. All right. This is gonna be hilarious. It's one of those where you open the box and you kind of lean it that way. All right. So hi Geronimo. Yes, Geronimo said hi. So Richard, who are you and what do you do?
Oh, I hadn't seen.
Who am I and what do I do?
Live chat.
I'm a heavy equipment operator who I sold my fields and all my belongings to buy a pearl. 2012 February, God interrupted me. I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't hoping for that, and there wasn't anything horribly wrong in my life where I needed something like that. But He did it anyway. So here I am. I feel like a farmer who's just plowing his field along and turns over a chest out of the ground, and in it is the cure to cancer. And he barely even knows what to do with it or who to talk to about it. And because he's a farmer, nobody believes that it's the cure to cancer. However, if they were to just read it, they'd understand because it's just that obviously true. So now I'm compelled. I want to do nothing else but to talk about the Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ, and what He was trying to say in the text of the Bible and where He's quoted other places as well. And that puts me in a unique position because I'm not only speaking about these things, I'm learning about these things. And the amount of things that you could learn on this topic is more than overwhelming. There's no way. And at age 42 and now 56, I'm way behind the power curve. And I really feel like I'm not going to catch up. But that's where I am right now and why I'm here today. Good timing. Just as he walks away, I finish up. Should I just keep going, Brick? What do you think?
I was listening. Yeah, you can keep going as long as you want, brother. I was just a household.
No, I just want to make sure yeah. Well, since you're back.
Yes, sir.
That was all. That is the reason I think that I'm here tonight.
Gotcha. Brick Jonesy, who are you and what do you do?
So I am Brick Jonesy. I have a channel on YouTube, and I'm into government accountability. That's kind of my thing. I also believe in the saving power of Jesus Christ. I've believed that for quite some time. And I do see the benefit to allowing each man, woman, and child to garner their beliefs for what they find is truth. Allowing that ability is exactly why I believe what I believe. And without that ability, I would not be who I am today. I am just a man. But I will tell you that the things that I have learned have gotten me through some very difficult situations. And so I'm just really happy to be here. And I'm very much interested as well in learning anything and everything that I possibly can about the saving power of Jesus Christ and what it means for me and anyone who else believes on that saving power. And so, yeah, thank you.
All right. And well, we got people saying Gandalf and stuff like that. And to be fair, so I'm gonna let you guys know that we're gonna go to a half-hour timer. If it gets disruptive, then we might have to cancel it. But I want to have respect for the Lord and the study that we're gonna do. So in honor of tradition. You shut up! Be some short and 5x5 for these giant Methuselahs and Nephilim.
I bet you've been getting feedback from me the whole time. No?
I'm sorry, I was looking at a text. What'd you say?
I said I bet you've been getting feedback from me the whole time.
No, not too bad actually.
It really meant was I forgot my earbuds.
You did forget your earbuds. Okay, that's all right though. You guys all sound good to me. All right. So that's saying, I'd like to say hi to everyone in the chat, and we got 40 people watching, and we're going to talk about God. So I expect that to probably drop or increase. I'll let God.
I mean, Trump said U.S. law is derived from its codes. I don't know what that argument is, but
yeah, so I'm gonna sow. Somebody else can water. Let God provide the increase, if it be so that people want to learn. So I'm gonna bring this up, and okay. She's back.
that's little homie and his little bros.
Back. Let me see if I can. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure that out later on, honey. I might be able to add you on a different thing. I'm trying to get her back to admin state so that she can hide stuff and start things like comments and questions that are important. But you want me to introduce myself to the audience? Hi, I'm generally specific. I'm a learner. I'm trying to seek out God's face. I'm trying to become a better Christian, which I seem to be failing miserably. Sometimes because of my own ego and pride and my own self-interest. I have not died to myself as much as I should, and I understand that this tongue is usually the last thing that the average Christian will surrender.
How do you come from the way you were acting with Chris Ruff, essentially saying that he was going to end him not 30 minutes ago, to trying to be hell yeah, we did. What up, little homie? They are looking at the Blue Letter Bible, which is their go-to, and they're going straight to the synagogue of Satan. And I need to reopen my
To the Lord. Some that are wise, surrender it first, and then everything else becomes super easy after that. I'm that knucklehead that I like the way my voice sounds, apparently, and I like to say things that I like to say, and the flesh seems to have a part in that. So that's up to me to repent and try to learn from and improve upon. But I run a variety show, and this show here, generally specific, is going to have a lot more conversations about the Lord. Lately, people like to have take shots at Christ, my Messiah, the King of the Jews, and they like to talk down and say that he's nothing more than a common criminal who got nailed to a piece of wood for his trouble. Ben Shapiro.
Nobody, common criminal. No, you mischaracterize everything, Todd. See the disingenuousness of him coming. You're going into a debate. Of course, he was watching Debate Me Con all day today, so you know. I've given Jesus props. I also said that he was a hardline Jew as well. So
comes to mind, by the way. I don't think that at all. I think he's the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, and he is my Messiah. None make it to the Father but through the Son. With that said, I'm gonna basically hand this over to Richard. I'm gonna put you on top there, and you have access to this, and you're leading the study to an extent. My question is this: I do have a video uploading because I'm pretty sure that Ned probably took his video down or hid it or something. I don't know, but I expected him to do as much as subversive people do subversive things. No stranger to it, and I planned accordingly. It just needs a little bit more time to upload. But go ahead, Richard, without too much further ado.
It is an honor and a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to talk about.
What video is he talking about? I've never taken a video down in the day. Even the one he snitched on me about, I didn't take down. So, suck it, Todd. Suck it, come back.
About the Bible and about, most importantly, the context of the words within the writing itself. So I'm going to give a little bit of context to this. There's going to be two sections where this is mentioned. And what are we talking about exactly? The synagogue of Satan. Okay, so when Christ speaks of the synagogue of Satan, what exactly, try to bear in mind as we read this, try to bear in mind the question, what exactly is he trying to say? What is the context here? What's his intent? Revelation 2:8. And unto the angel of the church of Smyrna write, these things saith the first and the last, which is dead and is alive. So if we look at that, who is the first and the last, which was dead and is alive? Well, this is Christ referring to him. So yeah.
I know some of y'all are gonna hate this because it's a whole lot of Bible, but I'm going to keep it at 2x and try to get past Liberty Troll. This is
yes, absolutely.
This is rich. Jews, not cultural, are simply unbelievers who have put their faith in the shadow of the Messiah while denying the substance of the Messiah who already came. Liberty Troll, you could not be more wrong, whoever you are.
Christ Jesus referring to himself in his narration to John.
I agree.
So he's saying, I'm the one that's saying this. Yeah, no problem. Good. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but the synagogue of Satan. And then there's a subject change, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. So that's a standalone verse right there. So what is this synagogue of Satan? Well, he describes it right before he coins the phrase here. The blasphemy, those who blaspheme, and yet proclaim themselves Jews. That's what the synagogue of Satan. So here we have a definition of what synagogue of Satan means. And if we paste in there, it should bring us. Is it going to work? It's working on it. Sorry if the connection is slow.
No worries. I'm on God's time, not my time right now.
Oh,
so the question is, what is the topic? This is a debate on what is Semite
so
and what is anti-Semitism. Now, I've used the term synagogue of Satan as what I consider to be the enemy of Christ, who himself called them out as the synagogue of Satan. They are not my friend. I will speak a proverb against those who call themselves Jews but are not Jew at all. They're liars. They're ravenous wolves. Now, I don't have a problem with the Jewish people. My Lord and Savior is the King of Jews, and I keep getting maligned constantly as being hateful, bigoted.
You are a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar.
Anti-Semite, all this other stuff. So this is going to establish what I mean when I say the synagogue of Satan, correct, Richard?
That is the point as far as I understand it.
And then we can get into
okay. So
and then we can get into what is a Semite and what is considered anti-Semitism. If that's okay.
That's the I have up already.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so yeah, I'm in complete agreement because it mentioned
all this other stuff. So this is going to establish what I mean when I say the synagogue of Satan, correct, Richard?
That is the point as far as I understand it.
And then we can.
If you don't know what the synagogue of Satan is, and y'all know he continuously uses it as a derogatory term towards me, towards Soros, towards the bankers, the Yarmulke Americans, Ben Shapiro uses it to praise what's his name? Kanye. God dang, I can't believe I forgot that. But and he but now he's saying, "Oh, I just want to learn what is a Semite. I mean, a Jew, a synagogue of Satan." God dang.
Can get into
Okay, so
what-
sorry,
then we can get into, and then we can get into what is a Semite and what is considered anti-Semitism. If that's okay.
that's the
with
next
us.
screen I have up already.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm in complete agreement because it mentioned that it's those who blaspheme against God and claim to be Jew, which of course you can't do that, and then be called Jew. So that would be quite the opposite. It would be a synagogue of Satan. So I'm in complete agreement with that. From what I understand, the only person that seems to have a problem with that saying that is in our circles, I guess you could say, is G2. That there's no one else. Well, maybe some of the people that sub to him and follow him and that sort of thing, but it's G2 that seems to have that imbalance according to what the scriptures are telling. From my
He
understanding.
might try reading them. I mean, that might help. I'm just throwing that out there.
Right.
So the second and only other reference throughout all of the text of the Bible is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say.
Yeah, I mean, and he directly says it, Spider Dog. Did one of them bite you through the cartilage, man? Oh, now I'm D-docking.
Say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. All right. So those are the two scriptural references. Does anyone feel like in any way either of those are unclear as to what's being spoken of? Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
I mean, they seem to be very clear-cut, very forward verses. It's not like there's like any types of prophecies or references other than to the people that are labeled as such, like the liars, and then they're claiming to be Jews. Same as the other one, yeah.
Yes, Todd.
So no, not too difficult verses. I think they're not really.
Did y'all catch that? Todd's I agree. How defeated and mealy mouth it was. We can go back.
Aiming to be Jews. Same as the other one, yeah.
Yeah. So no, not too difficult verses. I think they're not really subject to that much interpretation, and in both cases are standalone verses making a singular statement. And so there's not even any other context to refer to but these two standalone verses. That's all you get, and never shall it be mentioned again. All right. So there's that.
So pretty cut and dry, right?
Well,
Not
yeah.
a rebellious Jew, a Jew who claims to be a Jew. It's like a rebellious Jew, one who seeks to not obey the Lord, right? One who would be willing to turn him over to Pontius Pilate, for instance, right?
See, here we go.
I don't know. Maybe
Here
I'm
we
digging
go.
too deep on that one, but
No, that's in my opinion, that's actually a good reference because the man had not sinned. He did not commit any crimes. There was no reason to turn him over. So yeah, no, I am in agreement with that. And I wanted to mention that if it was the case that there was any type of pushback from G2, it would be wonderful to hear that. But he's not here.
well, and to further put a finer point on it, I find it interesting that if given the choice between a man who is actually not guilty of what he was being accused of, matter of fact, was wholly without sin, had been tested in every ways and found to be without sin, when they were given the choice between freeing Jesus, who had already been basically scourged, and Barabbas.
Excuse me, sir, but Pilate killed Jesus. Had nothing to do with us.
What the other guy, the criminal, the murderer, the thief, the Jews, these so-called Jews, these synagogue of Satan, actually chose to free the hardened criminal. They chose
Nope.
the bad guy over the guy who hadn't even sinned. So you tell me if that's a synagogue of Satan move or if that's an obedient, loving, respectful. Anyway, let's continue.
And, well, I wanted to say one other thing in reference to this before we move on, because this is what I believe, right? I do actually believe that those verses are true. There's no malintent with them from me. Like I don't intend to go out there and be violent because of it. I just simply believe it. So I also don't understand how someone like G2 would go fight for this country, America, and then come back home and then tell me that I'm not allowed to believe that. Like I said, I have no violent intent with it. It's just something that I believe. And that part right there is kind of mind-boggling to me. He's supposed to be, from what I understand, a veteran and served this.
My question to you three, do y'all believe that the whole Bible is the inerrant word of God? So you have to take the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible, in my parlance, as fact, and therefore the New Testament as a forgery. The purposes of the distinction is
this country and so that we could all believe what we want to believe. That's our First Amendment right to religion. So that part right there is a little confusing to me. Again, G2's not here. I would love to hear any type of pushback if he had.
Fair enough. All right. Go ahead, Richard. I think we're. And by the way, I don't want this to be a dog pile on G2 situation. I want to learn. So I don't want this to be about G2. I want this to be about the Lord, my God, your God.
It's important that all of us understand that Christ was not speaking against Jews, and that is not what he meant. He meant people that it's like saying cultural Christian. Most of Britain are cultural Christians. If you ask them, they'll say, "I'm a Christian." But do they believe in Lord Jesus Christ? Is a living actual person?
Sydney.
No, they don't. So there's the distinction I think Christ is trying to make in those verses. Okay, so what does the word Semitic mean? Let's review that real quick. And if anyone has any objection, because sources can be varied and some sources are objectionable, I found what I count on a regular basis for etymology, and that is online etymology.
No, homie, you got swept up. I mean, Seven Cities Kids.
They seem to be extremely serious about
They're
putting in a good bit of research before writing anything about any word. Okay. So the word Semitic adjective was coined in 1797. It denotes the major language group that includes all of the following: Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, Assyrian, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Where is this? Where is this? Anybody? What area is this?
That's Middle East.
Yeah, Middle Eastern, right. North Africa, maybe mostly Middle Eastern.
Yes, correct. Okay, so it's all of those people. That's what Semitic means. It does not actually mean the Hebrew alone.
To include parts of Greek, I imagine, because the Koine Greek is involved in this. It was spoken at least, right? So maybe little tiny bits of, I would say, Greece or Italy or something like that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of mixing.
Now look up what anti-Semitic means. Look up what anti-Semitic means.
There was mixing, of course you're correct. But can we say that those people are of the Semitic language? Well, you can't really.
I've never denied who the Semites are. I'm the one that told Todd who they were. It's a language group, yes.
To say that if it's their second language.
But it's how anti-Semitic was first used and coined is the problem. Etymologically, you would think it means against any of those groups, but it is not. Marr first used it in 17. Well, let's. Friedrich Wilhelm Adolf Marr was a German journalist and politician who popularized the term in 1881. He was a virulent racist against Jews. He first termed it to. Here, let me do this. I'm going to present. Sorry, y'all. All right, I'm going to let this play. I got to convert it to PDF file.
Now it's Coptic, Koine Greek, Aramaic, and Ancient Hebrew were the four languages that were spoken in that time. Go ahead.
Coptic, Egyptian, yeah.
Okay.
That's correct. Okay, so it's the people who speak the variations of that language. Naturally, that's part of their culture, that language. Okay, so that's what a Semite is. Now, has it come more recently to mean precisely and only the Jewish people? Well, yes, it has come to mean that colloquially.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have the definition of anti-Semitic, also an adjective of or pertaining to anti-Semites. Okay, so anti, I think no one needs me to look up the word anti, right? We're good there. So we know what Semites are now, and we know what an anti-Semite is. Okay, all right. So that's all of that. Questions on any of it?
Yeah, so Semite, right? So would there be any reference in that word to Shem? That is my question.
That's
yes,
that is the definition
Shem,
of it.
Which Shem means the name.
Okay.
If I was to form the Hebrew equivalent of the following sentence, the name of that man is Malchi or whatever, right?
Okay.
Then the first idea in that sentence would be the word Shem.
Okay.
It's literally the name. That's the same thing.
So as you know, there were three sons of Noah, correct?
Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Yes, sir.
Okay. So would that name have reference in that word Semite?
Coincidentally, without coincidence whatsoever, that's precisely where that people's name comes from.
Okay.
And in the Jewish tradition, to say the name is to refer to God.
Okay.
It's not just any old the name. If they say it in certain contexts, they mean the name that you recognize without me saying it.
So,
Okay.
so yeah. So if that is the case, so Shem being one of Noah's sons, so he had 3 sons, correct?
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
And the story says that they went certain directions, correct? One went north, one went east, and the other one went south, correct?
Yes. So the Semitic people are claiming to be descendants of Shem.
Right. That's my that was
know.
my understanding of it.
Yes.
So if someone comes from the north, they would normally, if there's no mixing, they would be coming from Japheth, correct?
That would be the understanding of the people culturally, historically. Yes.
Okay.
I don't hold that's what
Culturally,
that is what the people
historically.
say, yes.
So, okay. So this is my confusion about certain people claiming to be Semite. If you are from Japheth, then you are not Semite. If you are from Ham, you are not Semite. Am I
That's the
correct? in
Coptic
that?
Egyptians. What the claim is that that's the Coptic Egyptians. I'm sorry,
So
not
it's-
Coptic Egyptians.
So it's more about lineage even than it is language, even though the language is a part of the lineage.
Correct.
Okay.
You,
Now
you,
this
have,
is
you have thoroughly done some research on this, apparently.
well, I happen to I love the story about what happened. I don't like that it happened, but the flood happened. All the ancient cultures have a reference to a great flood. So it kind of leads me to believe that it did happen. And so my understanding is that the flood happened. Noah landed back, and then his 3 sons and their wives, as well as Noah and his wife, repopulated the earth. Now, if that's the case, Japheth went north, Ham went south, and Shem, which is the Semites, went east. The eastern people, they're not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not looking at this from a racial perspective, but if you're going east, most of those folks aren't of the pale color of skin, right? They're not Scottish or English in descent, or if it's from Ham, right? They typically have a darker skin because of the nature of where they lived. It's kind of like a environmental thing, right? That's just. And then
now
is
we're
there
mixing scientific theory with the Bible at this point. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, and for me, I really don't know, but I've got to imagine there's some genealogy that might have occurred in there too, right? So if Ham maybe had some darker skin, Japheth maybe had some lighter skin. It's possible. I don't know. But if I said I'm a Scot,
This is
right,
insane.
I wouldn't be able to say that I'm very much Semite. I'd probably have to say I'm from Japheth, right? I mean, just lineage wise.
Yes, you would.
Okay, this is the reason why I'm clearing this up. And I, like GS said, I don't want this to be a dog pile. I want truth. Okay, I've heard G2 say his name, and it happens to be a Scottish name. Now, it's possible that he has Judah in his lineage, but the fact of the matter is that he's also got Scott, and he's also very pale-skinned. That tells me that he's from Japheth, not from Shem. Therefore, he cannot possibly be Semite.
Not true.
Okay.
Not true at all.
Because yes, it's maternal and it can be recessive.
Okay.
There are recessive and dominant traits within a given family. I mean, look at me and say, oh, that guy definitely is 25% Southern Italian. No, I just don't look like that.
Okay.
Dad's sperm was stronger than mom's egg. I look more like dad's side of the family. Now I have siblings who look more Italian. Okay. But it didn't come out in me. Okay. So it's not dominant.
Didn't come
traits
out
in me. My mother had jet black hair and sideburns. I mean, she was Italian. So do I look much like that? Well, except for the sideburns, no.
Yeah, and something that you mentioned that, so I take on more characteristics of my mother as well. She's got the red hair in her hair.
You're
so it's
staying
the
out.
Strawberry color.
Yes, my last name is a Scottish name. Oh no! And they may need to look about Ashkenaz. Todd face touching means getting unhappy. Well, I mean, it's not going his way, right? And neither is it going Brick's way. What's up, Roadhog? Okay. So I'm gonna pull this down for a moment. Pull this up. Since they haven't gotten to since they already went over Semitic. Oh, this is from Merriam-Webster. Anti-Semitic, relating to or characterized by anti-Semitism, feeling or showing hostility toward or discrimination against Jews as a cultural, racial, or ethnic group. Etymology, anti-Semitic. First known use, 1879. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Let's see. Gonna skip the Semitism, anti-Semitic of or pertaining to anti-Semites, 1881. Antisemitism, from the German antisemitismus, first used by Wilhelm Marr, German radical nationalist and race agitator who founded Antisemitische Liga, or the Anti-Semitic League, in 1879. Not etymologically restricted to anti-Jewish theories, actions, or policies, but almost always used in this sense. Those who object to the inaccuracy of the term might try Herman Adler's Judeophobia, anti-Semitic, also anti-Semitic, and anti-Semite, also anti-Semite, also are from 1891, likely anti-Semitism. They appear first in English in an article in the Athenaeum of September 31st. Oh, September of 31. In reference to German literature, Jew hatred is attested from 1881 as an adjective, anti-Jewish from 1817. And then there's a whole thing on Marr we might go over. Whole long thing on, and this was by Moshe Zimmerman. So let me get back to that. Remove and play.
And then that Dutch Irish slash
Soft white
English
sleeve
slash Norwegian, like there's strong characteristics there. Whereas my dad, he's got a very English look to him. So yes, I agree with that. So
people are often surprised by 23andMe results and et cetera, such services, genetic surveys, not knowing it, not being part of the family tradition, that they had a strong influence of some peoples within their genetic material, and they come back surprised, because it doesn't show in their face. It hasn't shown in the face in generations, and it's not in the last name, because the last name, of course, is male, and is not unreflective of half of the family.
This is one of my favorite subjects, is the traits that people pick up through lineage.
I think they really need to look and see what a Ashkenazi Jew looks like. I am very typical of an Ashkenazi Jew.
So I'm loving this conversation, especially when you take it so far back as Noah and his sons, right? Because we don't know where we're from necessarily. Now I believe in God, and I believe in the saving power of Jesus Christ, and I believe that the history is real. However, there's no way for anyone.
He believes history is real. Doesn't that require thoughts?
Unless we have it written down in a book somewhere, which I highly doubt, because all of the books were destroyed with the Library of Alexandria, right? What's that?
I've talked too much. You read it.
Oh, me? Go ahead.
Oh, it's a question. I always heard Shem was darker skinned because of seeing Noah naked. Is that true? Like that?
Okay, so the people of that area of the world would disagree with this statement. And
so they're talking about the curse of Ham, and this is another racial theory that Ham went to Africa and was cursed with darker skin because of seeing Noah naked.
And Ham, the Hamites, or as Brick was just speaking about, that is to say, the Egyptian people are of the darkest skin in that area. Okay, so the statement could be true of Ham, doesn't really make sense to Shem.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. So a lot of the northern pale skin folks had blonde or light hair. So if you've got darker hair, typically denotes coming from that region of Shem, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true either, because there was a lot of mixing, and that was actually something that I wanted to lead to as well. So there's the languages that are being spoken, right? So there's the Assyrian, the Hebrew, and so on and so forth. The Hebrews, Judah, were not supposed to mix with the other peoples. If they did mix, then were they still considered
statement?
Jew?
Well, again, that comes traditionally through the mother's lineage.
G2 claimed to be adopted.
Although we know how these things really work today, but that was their tradition at the time. Your mom's a Jew, you're a Jew.
Oh my God.
Cut to dry stuff. Okay, that's how they look at it. Even today, in the majority of Jewish sects, they look at it that way still today. Does that answer it, or did I get lost?
No, that was actually right on track, but I do have a clarifying thing. So if it is the case that the mother is Jew, and then she has a child who's a female, that female child has a child that is female, and so on and so forth, each time that they marry, they're not marrying a Jewish man.
Right? It's irrelevant.
Okay, it's irrelevant. Okay, so as long as the mother is Jew, and it could be mixed, as long as the mother is Jew.
Sure. But that's when they're speaking of their people using the term Jew to mean lineage and not religion. Anyone can deny religion at any point.
Right.
And that's where the confusion lies, is right there. Okay.
Yeah, and I really wouldn't press someone so hard as to say.
Have I not always told them that anybody can become a Jew religiously? Job was a Jew, the oldest book in the Bible.
Prove to me your lineage before I said you're not Jew, right? However, it does seem a little unusual for me to hear a Scotsman claim to be Jew, knowing the lineage. But like you said, it could be passed on as long as there's lineage.
Jesus,
mothers.
dude.
That's fair, you know. And hey, so be it. And you know what? I'm happy and proud to live among my Jewish brothers. I love my Jewish brothers, right? I am just a man who believes in Christ. I'm a Christian, right? And it's wonderful to know that there are so many other people out there who don't necessarily believe everything.
Oh boy, here we go.
So
and could you briefly bring back up? Yes, El Perro, peace and respect to you, sir. And yes, could you bring back up about the blanket? I think it was.
Yeah, it's where they walked backwards and covered it.
Correct.
I think it was rats.
I think it was rats, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, my wife I think took it down.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, they walked him backward, blanket on the shoulders, cover him. So yes, Shem is the only one who saw the father naked. Okay, so and if I translate all the words necessary there, I would be saying him of the name saw the father naked.
So, but here's the question, which I find interesting. In this instance, were they talking father Noah or father?
Yeah.
Father?
Well, the word, what does the word Noah mean? I mean, we can get into a quick Bible study. Absolutely, I love it.
Right.
What's the word Noah mean? Giver of rest.
Well, that'd be Jesus.
You're catching on, yeah.
Right. So
these are all direct references to the relationship between Christ and the Father.
Right. So the interesting thing is if that would be almost like going into a tanning booth, like times 10, right? Like if Shem walked in on Jesus naked, and whatever, it could be like Edward, Team Edward from he glistened in the sun. It could be
no, not on Jesus naked. Him of the name walked in on the Father naked.
Right, but what okay, maybe what I'm talking about is Shem.
All these
Right?
Bible
The
scholars don't even know that it was Ham.
Darker skin. If I go to a tanning booth where I sit out in the sun for a long period of time, my olive drab skin gets really dark.
No, the people of Ham are the darker skinned people of the area. Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's weird. Okay.
Yeah,
I was trying to think maybe it was some weird radioactive kind of supernatural kind of like a tanning bed almost, and that's why they walked in backwards and put a sheet over, a blanket over him, because it was dangerous to do otherwise. Or was it to cover?
There is a birthing in the Bible where it appears that the baby is radioactive. There is a birthing.
Right.
Actually.
So it's interesting to me. I just find it interesting.
All of it is very interesting. Yeah.
Piss and semen. Piss and semen.
If I did nothing but obey the Lord, what would happen? What level of anointing would I possess? What do they say, that we are to be light and salt, that people should see God shining from our face? Now, if we are crossing all those T's and all those I's, who knows how that would manifest? I mean, I'm talking everything, like submitted in every possible way, being utterly obedient to the Lord, and imagine the abundance that would be poured out, shaken, packed down, the overabundance that would be given to you in that obedience. And so, which is frustrating, that there's a particular stiff-necked people that, even though they were pulled out of captivity, said, well, at least we had meat with Pharaoh. It's like, okay, the kvetching and the complaining, and it's anyway, it goes on to, it just keeps going on. It doesn't stop until all knees will bow. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Every knee will bend.
Y'all catch that? The kvetching and the whining, it never ends.
That's one way to read it, yeah.
Yeah, because like every knee will bend and all tongues will confess, because I guess somebody said only hips bow, knees don't bow, they bend.
It's a lie.
Well, the word bow there is the same as the word bow for a reason. It bends in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. So so this was his presentation. Now this is long, guys. So I don't know if you got your coffee. I don't know if you coffee. I don't know if you're
another.
All right. I hope you got your Mountain Dew bottle to pee in, because you're not allowed to leave.
Spent some time in New England. I know what this is all about.
Right, so this is gonna be interesting, and I'm gonna let this play. This is my video. He ain't taking this down. This is my video, and he could try to copyright me. This seems sufficiently transformed, by the way, unlike what he did with my video, where he used it.
I sufficiently transformed it. I cut out 3 hours and 51 minutes.
Title to it, but let me see if it's loud enough. Let me turn down the music here. Actually, I kind of don't want to turn down the music. It helps make it transform.
How is everybody?
Now we'll have to speed this up.
I was just gonna.
Yeah, I talk slow, Todd. It's funny. Crap, I was gonna say something. Oh, this isn't supposed to be a piling on, right? It's supposed to be Todd learning something. But let's go.
Say,
Oh, and we're gonna be ending at 8. Is Shiz's still at 8 or 8:30? I can't remember.
I don't know if I can speed it up. This. Oh, I guess I can. Oh, because it is on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't take it down, Todd.
like 1.7.
You all.
Yeah.
At what the rate he's speaking right now, yes, 1.75 would be excellent.
Shabbat shalom.
Look at. I want you to look. I want you to look at something. Do you see? This is his stream.
Right.
Do you see the orange?
That's you.
That's your name.
That's my name, and his stream.
So
Yes.
They must say these things.
I will turn down the music because he's really hard to hear.
Saturday.
I agree.
You know, with all that free rent in so many different places, if you could consolidate that, you'd own a hotel.
If I could bottle it up, I'd make
hell?
a million.
Holy cow.
I might have to redo this and crank the volume up twice to get it. So if this is really hard for you guys to hear, let me know. Yeah, I'm look at. I mean, it's just nothing but a sea orange, and I purposely had it like this so you guys could see. And if I can read all these comments too. The internet's forever,
Okay.
boys and girls.
Yes, it is, Todd. It is forever.
I'm so stupid. Tells you how much. Yes, Big Bag. I'm very, very worried. What's up, Wally? How are you? Yeah, are you gonna? Who's watching the game? I don't even know who's in the sports ball game today.
So he did this during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's not a lonely boy. I told him, I said, I said, my wife and I are going to watch it. Do you want me to FaceTime you, Ned? And then that way you won't have to be alone.
Yeah. No thanks. I'd rather go out my top floor window.
And he said, well, Todd, I could just walk over and hang out with my kids. And I'm thinking in my head, well, then why aren't you? Well, that's where I'd be if my kids were right next door. You think I'd be on the internet talking smack about a guy accusing him of being an anti-Semite, which is some BS made-up term in order to try to cancel people on the internet?
I mean, I need recreation personally, so there's some things that I'll, partake in, watch the sports ball and watch the races sometimes, but like especially the Super Bowl, gotta watch that.
Why? Why do I have to watch something?
To me, it's about being with the family. Screw the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I choose to be with my daughters if I have the opportunity to be right next to them. If it's just a walk across the street and I'm with my daughters, forget YouTube. I'd be hanging out with them, especially for an event that we're all watching.
Yeah,
but anyway,
short of the
nobody
preaching
cares
work,
about
it's
it.
eat healthy, enjoy life for me.
yeah, I mean, but listen, he's free to do what he wants to do. I'm not trying to judge him on that, but
Exactly, Spider Dog.
This is really hard to hear.
Oh my God! I wish I could fast forward this.
Address Rick Jonesy real quick. Hey, Oklahoma Outlaw. Hell yeah, Batman with the kids is the way to go always. Ben Harlow will super chat for night. It's not baseball season yet though.
All right, let's skip.
She's already said she doesn't care.
Oh wait,
no,
oh,
he's
this
talking
one's not
about
the
my kids.
Anti-Semitism one. Hold on,
Heavy D, and
well,
hey,
maybe
Heavy
he
D.
did take that one down. This is the one where he basically told on himself with his entire record.
His record?
My entire record.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he said
my speeding ticket and my super terrible military record, Todd. My super terrible resume. Yep.
Sat there and praised himself and opened up his "I Love Me" book and talked about all the pats on the back that he got from men, but then the 3 failed marriages that he was in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
How many military people do we have in here? Failed marriages is part of being gone 300 days a year for the most of your life. So shout out Todd and his service to the country, right? I made a choice and I paid for it. I own my shit, Todd. Just the depender.
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah, I'd
let me-
rather watch what he was.
I thought I had the other one, but maybe he's gonna get me, and maybe we can just talk about what anti-Semitism is or whatever. That's fine too. But let me go here.
Yeah, maybe he got you.
No, I mean that was the different video. I don't know if I recorded the other one or not. I figured he wouldn't run away from it because he's so proud to call me an anti-Semite that he would let that stay up forever. But I don't know. Maybe
Todd,
maybe he
everything
put it
I
behind
have is
paywall.
up. Paywall. I'm not
Hold on,
monetized.
let me do
Stupid
this real
fuck.
quick. Oh, look, my subscribers went up because people are so thirsty to want to be able to say something to me. Hold on.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, maybe you'll have to pay that $1.99 for that membership.
Is that what it is over there?
I don't know. I have no idea, bro.
All right.
Dude,
I was
in the
sub to him.
oil
I'm not
fields.
anymore. So I just.
Oh,
Jesus,
darn. I am up to over 2,100 though, y'all. So I do appreciate it. You guys are tickling my algorithm just right, and I do appreciate it. I think that's worse. Can't afford to get in a divorce.
The way.
All right, let's see what he's got going on. All right, 1 second. But I mean, I could definitely unpack that other one.
Oh, that's
he's
boring.
live right now. Pre-debate to post-debate. Okay, so he's definitely going to want to be a part of it. Here we go. Lessons. Well, there was anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that I had saw something that he had.
Yeah, he's got like 3 in a row.
Should be in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he was going over it many times.
Let me see real quick. Let's go ahead and present.
Yeah, I address it all the time, Todd, because you can't stop being
You got
in
caught
a
up doing laundry.
Regular life shit.
All right.
So,
I don't think this is the right one,
Bob,
is it?
How you doing? Angel Gamer, Johnny Boy. Hey,
Oh, no,
Freddie.
That's probably it.
No, this is one of them. But this is a whole podcast. And he did lessons in anti-Semitism.
Yeah, it
hold
kind of
on.
looks like he took it down. I'm looking at it right now. He's got no, he doesn't have anything up.
Well, no, it'd be
look
under-
at
it'd be under
lives,
lives,
dummy.
I think.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm looking. He took him down.
No,
he got
it
you,
isn't.
bro.
There's
Yeah, because I don't
debate-
see it.
Oh, so that's what he said. Okay, that's
Yeah.
how he was going to be here.
Either he put him
What's
behind
up,
a
Angel Gamer?
paywall, or he, privatized them. So,
So it says truth. Let's explore Todd's lies. Well, that'd be a fun one. Let's check this one out. What have I lied about? Oh, look at that.
Hey, everybody. Does this picture make you hungry?
what the heck? What in the world?
I swear they fattened my hand up, dude. I swear they did. There ain't that's some fucking AI shit, dude. I don't look anything. Do I look anything like that?
No, that's you.
Look at the back of my hands. Look at the back of my, yeah, no, that's me.
It's your right.
It's
Heavy
your
D.
right hand.
Yeah, and it's a little bit. It's got a little bit more swell to the than the left
Oh
side.
yeah, that's right. Because these are the knuckles that hurt Christopher Ruff, and these are the knuckles that hurt me. Yeah, that's why my knuckles are. Because I don't know a damn thing about fighting. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Well,
that's
all right.
just
Let's carry on. Let's do a Bible study. Let's dog walk good old G2 about what.
Not going to be a
anti-Semitism
pylon.
is. What do you think? What are you thinking on this one, Richard? What do you think? Is this a legitimate statement to call someone an anti-Semitic, or does it?
If they're a member of Hamas, sure.
Well,
what the
I don't know,
fuck?
because
Hamas
would
that's
be
a bold
part of a Semitic region, right?
That is a bold statement, D-Doc. You don't think there's places in between, like Todd.
Is it?
Oh yeah, if you want to get down to the technical of it, yeah. You can't be a member of natural born in that area and be an anti-Semite unless you're self-hating.
Look at the term. Could I not just give y'all the definition from both Merriam-Webster's and Etymological online, where it was first used and by whom? What's up, Odin? Well, I know O'Sheen, but he said you can't be anti-Semitic unless you're a member of Hamas. What's up, Wyatt?
Right.
Right.
I guess you could claim to not be of the same lineage and be adopted or something. I guess, but it doesn't really make sense.
The word is antithetical.
All right, hang on. Go back. Anti-Semite, 1881. One who seeks by political or other means to lessen the commercial, political, or social influence of the Jews. The name is given especially to those who have participated in the agitation against the Jews in Germany, Russia, and Austria, which begun about 1878. Century Dictionary, 1900. Anti-Semitic, or pertaining to anti-Semites, 1881. Antisemitism, also antisemitism, 1881, from German anti-Semit. Y'all heard me say the word earlier. First used by Wilhelm Marr, German radical nationalist and race agitator who founded Antisemitism Liga in 1879. Just saying. Not etymologically restricted to anti-Jewish theories, actions, or policies, but almost always used in this sense. Those who object to the inaccuracy of the term by try Herman Adler's Judeophobia, anti-Semitic, also, and anti-Semite, also from 1881, appear first in the English article. Jew hatred is attested from 1881 as an adjective of anti-Jewish from 1817. Not all Aussies like beer. Are you more of a Aussie whiskey drinker? No.
Thing about anti-Semitism and in the West, right? So in America, right? And so let's say that someone is anti-Semitic, right? Mm-hmm. Or anti any belief system, right? Does that necessarily mean that they're violent?
No, of course not. They don't have to be violent. But there are people who secretly hate and never act upon it.
Now,
so it's really making a moral judgment more than it is anything else.
So spreading anti-Semitic rhetoric
and
is
so for
dangerous.
me, when I hear someone say, you can't be anti whatever. Well, no, that's not what we do here in this country. That's something that we actually tolerate. You're actually allowed to be anti anything you want to be.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I'm anti-hate.
And I would hope
anti-lies.
that someone who served understands at least that much, right? So, for instance, I'll give you an example, and I don't agree with them.
Todd wants me kicked out of this country. My service is more than his service, so shouldn't my service count more than his service in your calculus there, dumbass brick? It doesn't. Somebody who served 2 years is equal to 20, but
the KKK does their rallies in New Hampshire all of the time, and this is a well-known thing.
didn't Todd just yesterday blame the KKK rallies on Jews? Said it was the Anti-Defamation League.
That's where they are. That's one of the places, right? So, we don't, pick up our torches
yeah.
and pitchforks to go to New Hampshire to try to take care of that, because they're not practicing violence. What they're doing is they're preaching their hate, which they're allowed to do in this country as long as they don't become violent.
Excuse me.
And that is what it is. And it is unfortunate that people believe in such ideologies as hate. But it's not for me to put judgment on them if they do hate. So even if, which I'm not saying that Todd is, or I am, or any Christian is anti-Semitic, because we're not. It's just not.
Spartan, he was an apple farmer until he got that knock on the head, and then he became a physics genius. You should know this.
Not what
it's
not part of
sure.
the Christian ideology to be anti-Semitic.
I mean, didn't Christians just kind of steal our patriarch? Right? And made it into their image. Right?
Mm-hmm. As far as I know, I've never understood why somebody would say Christians are anti-Semitic.
I know who you're talking about.
We're very much pro-Semitic, if anything. And in fact, if you look at the leadership
on average
if you look at the leadership of presidency, when it comes to Christian leaning presidents, typically they lean towards being pro-Semitic. Actually, they always do. They always promote
specifically not pro-Semitic, pro-Jew.
Yeah, pro-Jew. Yeah, pro-Israel. Yeah.
I
agree.
Brick,
and also with that, pro-Muslim and pro-Christian and pro-atheist and pro-all religions, because that's what we do in this country, right? We promote what is good and push away what is bad. That's pretty much it.
I think an interesting question might be right now, what does the term goyim mean? What does that mean in context in the Bible? Who does that refer to? And is that
the other nations?
Well, the common way to say it would be racist term, but that's not actually true. Is that an ethnically prejudiced term?
No.
Goyim?
Goyim, yes.
Goyim is basically it means cattle, right? I mean,
No, it does not. It means the other nations.
Specifically, because all we are to you is just Goyim, right? You just want us on all fours eating the grain in the trough. The usury is allowed against or towards the Goyim, but it's prohibited against the Jew. So there's obviously a supremacy going on here, and it doesn't come from the Gentiles. It's kind of weird because to the Jew, according to the Talmud, right, we are nothing but cattle to them. Now I consider myself an image bearer of the Lord, as I consider G2 to be an image bearer of the Lord. Now he might be rebellious and denying and lacking in obedience, as am I on occasion, but I still consider him to be an image bearer of the Lord. I would encourage him to repent and therefore be converted. What are you laughing about? Is it what?
Could you bring up Spider Dog's comment, please? The last one there. Goyim means nation or people. Okay, so Spider Dog, I would challenge you, and I'm not being sarcastic whatsoever. I would challenge you to look into the difference between how something was translated and what the word actually means. because it's evident in your answer here that what you're saying is the word goyim got translated to nation or people, and you're perfectly correct. But is that what the word goyim means? No. It means
I've never
all
used
of
it
those heathens
in a
who aren't
derogatory.
Jews,
Nope.
who are like cattle to us. That's what it means.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely
Goy,
not.
right? So goy
Goy,
is
yeah.
the singular version. I'm assuming.
Sounds like cow.
Yeah,
But it doesn't
im is
mean
plural. Goyim.
Mhm.
That's correct. So goy would be the singular.
And so I'm looking here, and it's Yiddish?
No, Yiddish
Well,
is a
it's
mixture
not
of
Yiddish,
Hebrew and
although
German.
the term became a term in the Yiddish. It was originally a Hebrew word.
Okay.
And
So the
it's,
Yiddish continued to.
but it was never an Hebrew word. It was never the ancient Hebrew people who were nomadic raiders, which is why they're such a proud people, is because
So they want anti-Semite to mean literal etymologically, but they want to goyim to be this negative thing because Jews say it. To refer to other nations. So show me your two-tone. What the hell?
well, they were very successful. They would beat everybody they came across. The Hebrew people is pre-Adamic revelation, so they weren't yet Jews.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so there was no word goy to them at that time. That comes under Abrahamic belief systems. Yes.
So did you want to keep this this other thing up, or can you pull that up as needed?
He'd asked a question, and I was bringing it up, but he brought up a definition which was just fine as well. In fact, he found precisely what I found.
Okay, so I don't know
word.
that I can share this other article. There's this thing called I don't know if I might have to have you remove that like from your backstage, and you can just add it whenever you want, whenever you need to. Again, by the way, Brick, same thing for you. Why is it not? Oh,
are you scared to put up anti-Semitism, Todd?
Have that as a brave. Okay, let's go ahead and
yes,
copy
Spider
that.
Dog. He does.
There we go.
Truly, Spider Dog, I'm not playing with you. I'm actually very, very serious about this topic. What the original words were, as best as we can confirm them, and what those actual words means to those people at that time within the cultural reference. So I'm not wrong, and I don't know why you would say that. And with the briefest amount, but with the briefest, most brief amount of research, you'll find out that I'm right. And aside from that,
you are wrong.
I was basically agreeing with you.
Yeah, and I will say this too, and I've seen so many times when it comes to debate tactics and all of that, you just telling someone that they are wrong is not going to cut it.
You're going to have to show it. And by the way, I could bring up Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, which shows the definition of the word goyim and goy, and I could just show you right now.
Yeah.
Right. So so it's interesting because I make these assertions and these claims. Now, I'm still trying to find it because for some reason the internet, who I think the World Wide Web, what tangled webs. Because,
Todd, it's a lie. You bringing up shit from an article from 1981, and he couldn't find the source on the internet is very suspicious. Remember, Todd, the internet is forever. So if you want to find something, you'll find it.
We weave when first we aim to deceive synagogue of Satan. I think the World Wide Web is controlled by the synagogue of Satan. I think it's the one territory that they created and cannot be kicked out of. It's part of the new Tower of Babel. The ones and zeros is the new language. And it is absolutely, in my opinion, the new Tower of Babel. 1 second.
I'm sorry. You think what is the new Tower of Babel?
The internet. Yeah.
Oh, I can prove that to you in a direct translation.
Oh, of course you can.
So
That would be interesting to explore as well.
But I say
It's
this
prophetic.
Yeah, I say this with, and the reason why I'm saying this is these things that were more prevalent have been being scrubbed and pushed further down into the algorithm. Things that I brought up easily in the past are really getting hard to find on the internet, and I wonder why. I mean, so there's a term that a lot of people like to use. I'll just ask the panel: do you know of any other race or peoples that have been kicked out of 109 different territories since about 24 AD?
Aside from my brother, who will never marry but just keeps dating. No,
I can't think of one other race or religion that has been exiled, kicked out of, not welcomed in at least 109 different territories. Now, like I've said before, if I were to be hooked up to a lie detector test and I had to tell the truth, right? And I couldn't lie, and I said that I'd been in 109 different relationships. I mean, everyone on the internet says that I'm the common denominator. I'm the jerk because everyone's coming against me. But it doesn't, not with the Jews. No. It's everyone else, not the Jews, right? So I find that interesting. Unstiffen your neck, turn your face towards the Lord, hit your knees.
Oh, sorry.
Pray, and you will find some level of repentance and redemption, maybe, perhaps. ADL caught in link to Nazi and KKK. Now, it's kind of like Norton antivirus creating viruses that they already have the fix to. They just wait for a couple of weeks of you being outraged because the worm or the virus is ravaging your computer, and now you need to buy this thing that created the malady in order to fix the malady.
Did y'all like how Todd had to go through that giant soliloquy before he puts this article out about things disappearing, things he's been saying, quote unquote, and now he can't find them because the internet is scrubbing him? El Perro. G2 is restreaming you now.
So the ADL needing money and support, what does it do? What does it do? Oh, hold on. So ADL caught in link to Nazi and KKK. On December 7th, 1981, WCCO television in Minneapolis, Minnesota, aired an hour-long expose of the right-wing paramilitary Christian Patriots Defense League entitled Armies of the Right, including prominently, and this is why I have a theory.
Oh boy, here we go. Theories.
Weird. Okay. Before we get too far afield in this, you guys see the outline here, and it was right here. It was in Minneapolis. It was December 7th, 1981. Y'all can look it up. You don't believe me. All employed by the ADL. All of these people were employed by the ADL in order to gin up anti-Jewish rhetoric, in order to get people to want to feel bad for them, want to fight their battles for them, and want to donate to the organization. Right? So this is not the first time. This won't be the last time. Lots and lots of hoax nonsense. Matter of fact, there was an article, and I forget exactly what cemetery it was. It was an Israeli Jew and an American Jew were.
Sorry, y'all. I'm writing. I know it's recorded and everything, but I'm a boomer sometimes. So this is a 1984 article about something that may have happened in 1981.
caught on CCTV camera and later exposed as destroying and toppling over a Holocaust graveyard. Now that was like,
I've got a padding over it. I've made it real nice, like the notebooks my mom and sister used to make in the 80s, you know. All frill around it. Has the pictures of grapes on the front, and it says sour on it. You know. It's a burn book. Oh, burn book.
I think 12 years ago. Well, again, I'm trying to find all this stuff because I know I've seen it. I've read it with my own eyes. I've seen
I can't find it. Yes, Cap. Yes.
the articles, but as I said before, it's getting really hard to find this stuff on the internet. And this is to say that there is an awful lot of hoax hate attributed to being anti-Jewish or Israel. The latest demographics is Israel or Israeli people or Jewish people are about 2.4% of the total population of America.
0.2% of the world, and it's about correct for America.
2.4%.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's also
cool.
not a lot, right?
Not on the grander scale, but you know that's still a big population.
Right. But so my issue on that is such a tiny percentage of a population. Now, if you take the children that aren't voting, that aren't involved in politics, that aren't lawyers, doctors, judges, in the media, controlling the media, propagandizing, Hollywood, you know, all the banking. Let's not even get into like banking because, you know,
He has hit every anti-Semitic trope in 10 seconds, I think.
listen, we're not supposed to say certain things, guys. So sometimes we have to let Kanye speak for us, right?
In fact, I'm gonna let Kanye West not say that.
I'm not gonna say what race, what people doctor, and what hospital and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
No, Kanye, no. Oh my God, no. Okay, I can't. I am very deeply disappointed in Kanye for saying that. He specifically was not going to say that.
So you know, you're
All smiles, zero pushback after a completely anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic rant from a dude that exclusively is selling freaking swastika T-shirts at that. He's still supporting, has Kanye on his shit. Oh, there you go, redacted.
you're not allowed to say certain things, otherwise the goyim gets cattle prodded. Right? The goyim's got to learn to behave, otherwise the goyim doesn't get his grain. So it's real interesting to me, and I'm not trying to let this devolve into something crazy.
It already has.
There's definitely a plan going on. Usury is allowed on me. Matter of fact, if a Jewish man can play around with a non-Jewish woman all day long, but he's not supposed to marry him. Right?
I married 3 non-Jewish women. What are you talking about? Maybe that's what it was. God was disappointed in. No offense, Shiksas. I love you.
Yeah, that's forbidden. That's not kosher. You're supposed to keep the bloodline pure. So exactly who is the supremacist in this situation? I'm curious.
It's not a keeping the bloodline pure. It's keeping Judaism and Jewishness alive because people keep trying to murder us.
Who thinks they're high and mighty and set apart and above all others, yet they reject the one thing that they could claim has made them to be set apart.
Best food in the world.
People. Oh wait, that might be Christians.
Well, you know, I got a question in regards to that. So taking it back to the lineage,
Mhm.
if it is in fact the case that the bloodline only goes through the female, only through the female, that the male doesn't matter, would
That's
the male
changed.
be just as feral as the Gentile?
Feral.
Or does that even that one drop of Jewish blood make him superior? That's a great question.
I mean, it doesn't matter. His bloodline does not matter, right?
Oh my god!
If it's only the female. I'm just asking. I mean, because it seems as if
I see what you're saying there. Oh, that's interesting. If only the matrimony aspect of it matters, so why would you claim you're a Jew if that has nothing to do with whether or not your children will be Jewish? It has to be with a female.
there's
My
nothing
children
you
are
can
Jewish.
do to make yourself Jew. It's the female that is Jew.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on that, Richard? Are we way off base with that? It sounds a little. I mean, it sounds like their argument, though, right?
I don't know. I'm not really certain how that would work in the minds of the practitioners. I mean, I would be willing to look into it, but
Noah.
I mean,
right now.
It sounds illogical to me, but that's their statement. That's their claim that it doesn't matter. How
absolutely.
Jewish,
Yeah.
Ned
The
Flanders
male
is.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all, make it make sense. Hey, look, man, a whole bunch of Jewish chicks got canceled for saying that shit. I'm not saying it. Cool, man. I know you're busy. You stuck around longer than I thought you'd be able to. Yeah, I mean, seriously, you have 3 intellectual midgets who think they are intellectual giants on a full-on anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish rant, and now they're admitting they know nothing about Judaism. Okay, cool.
Right.
He has to be with a Jewish woman in order for his children to be considered Jews. And to do otherwise, you've actually betrayed your own bloodline that you hold above the Goyim.
And that's why it's so important for the man, to stay in the faith. See, and it's nothing against the women. In fact, I see us as equal. That is why she submits. Because if she wasn't equal, she would not need to submit, right? She is just another person on this earth. But if her bloodline is what matters and his is just some randomology, then what does it matter if you as a man do not stay in your faith?
Right. So I got a question for the panel. Are you guys?
I'm sure they'd love to have him
to a
up
broader
there.
audience, seeing how G2 wants to be MIA and doesn't want to. Go ahead.
Before we do, could I share screen? And I may have confused some people. I am not under the impression that universally throughout the Old Testament, nor in the Hebrew people, these things were true. However, they are true today. This is
the new joys of the Yiddish defines goy as
someone who's non-Jewish or someone who is dull, insensitive, or heartless. Goy also occurs in many pejorative Yiddish expressions. Das ken nur goy, something only a goy would do or is capable of doing. Blata goy, a goy stays a goy. What did you expect? Once an anti-Semite, always an anti-Semite. So to say goy, at least colloquially, within common Yiddish expressions of the time, right?
Of the time,
is to say anti-Semite. So it doesn't. Yes, literally, and in the translations, it comes through nation, but it refers to all of these other things.
If somebody,
I don't know
if somebody uses it as a pejorative, it's on them. I don't use it as a pejorative. Yep.
if I've clarified, if I've made it worse, I don't know. Anyway,
No, actually, so goy can mean a plethora of things, but it always refers to something outside of.
yes, definitely.
The other nations, yes. Just like in America, we can say the other nations. Golly.
Definitely. But but there's the literal word, and then there's the colloquial usage, of course. Okay. So there's a lot of words we use that way. Like if I said, "Man, your headphones are sick," I don't mean that they have a cold and vomiting. You know?
Right.
Now, is that literally what I said? Well, yeah. And can you read it that way? Yeah, you could read it that way. That I meant they were dislikable, infected with some kind of a problem. But that's not necessarily what I mean. And if you refer to all of the other nations and other people, and literally, even if I take it literally, without the context of expression within that culture, it still means someone who worships a false god.
No, it doesn't. It means
that's not a compliment.
Other nations.
And it's not saying it's not just like saying,
cope, y'all.
Oh, they're not of our nation.
Get
it
the
means
cope
they
on.
have wrong ideas that aren't true in reality, and you're at least pointing that out. So I hope that clarifies.
Go to the Copacabana.
So my thing, if it is in fact the case that someone is being called anti-Semitic, essentially they're being called goy.
Whoa, what a cope brick. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Yeah, I know, freedom fighter. Goy, the singular of goyim. So, since I am saying they are being anti-Semitic, I am being anti-goyim. Is that what he is? Oh yeah, we're in the Copacabana. We're all Barry Manilow up in this bitch.
Yes.
And everything that goes along with that, in fact.
Including Old Testament law about usury and everything generally brought up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically we're lesser, right? Which means that somebody's greater.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely.
It is
superior,
not.
Supremacy. So who's the supremacist? I'm just curious. G2, who thinks that they're supreme? Huh.
We don't.
All right. Well, being how G2 wants to act like a little bish boy, well,
here's the part that's interesting to me generally is the pride of Christians that's been carried over from the Abrahamic tradition of pride within their own people, and somehow that's been adopted by Christians who were not of that people of that time. They're not of that lineage, yet somehow they've adopted this pride. Now, I can certainly see that if a small tribe were nomadic raiders and that was how they survived, and they did quite well at being that, then indeed they were
freedom,
tactically wise.
They do.
You can't do that sort of thing well and not be brilliant in your war tactics, especially once word gets around, so I can see pride in their warrior tribalism coming through into Judaism, and they kept that, and that sort of makes sense. But what really doesn't make sense is that the Christians carry it forward.
Yeah, because
redacted. There are Jews. October 7th changed a lot of it, but there are a lot of Jews that exhibit I'll call them Hebrews, that exhibit a lot of Jew hatred. I mean, it is no different than any self-hating white person, self-hating Chinese person, self-hating black person, self-hating Latin American. It's just something that occurs sometimes. We'll see how this goes. We only have 30 more minutes and we'll break so we can be ready for the shiz stream.
You cannot be this glorious warrior. It's just not written. I know that was a perversion in the Crusades, but that's just what anybody who went along with that is not really practicing the text. Yeah.
So the interesting
that's
thing
what I'm
is,
talking
I was
about,
accused by good old Boopy, my little Boopy. How you doing, Boopy? I see you streaming me, Boopy, but you can't come over here and say hi, can you, Boopy?
No, because you're disingenuous.
Yeah, you could have came over and said hi. I would have treated you with respect, but because you're a little bitch boy, I'm gonna deal with you this way with all the Christians.
Oh, he's
you're gonna deal with me?
I see.
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he's
gonna deal with
like
me.
a little slippery eel.
He took his explanation, his response down that was going to be the show.
Lies.
And then he decided to restream it. Like what?
Yeah.
Tell me lies. Tell me
so one of the things
free advertisement for you. I mean,
it is. But here's the interesting thing. And most of the degenerates over there,
hey, degens,
they can straight up eat a dick. Absolutely, good riddance. But that said,
Todd, you're the one that sent me a Valentine saying, asking me to.
Or no, I was accused of being a Holocaust denier by Ned.
Yes.
And also simultaneously saying the Jews did the Holocaust.
Yes, you did.
What do you think the Holocaust was?
Well, according to what I understand,
speak on this.
Well,
Show
Shadow looks like he needs to go out, honey, real quick. If you don't mind grabbing him, he's kind of getting whimpery.
And while you two chat about that, I'm gonna visit the little boy's room, and I'll be right back.
I'll actually get him here in a second, but I kind of want your response to this. My understanding, a Holocaust in ancient Hebrew means a fully burnt offering. Now, some will say that it has to do with the Greek too, but I believe it traces back.
No, it does not.
Right around that time, and
it's Greek.
The Jews adopted the Holocaust,
the Shoah,
but with the spelt differently. To me,
we use the Shoah between ourselves.
Now, my understanding is that Jesus Christ was the last offering. No more offerings needed to be. No more animal sacrifices.
That is a very Greek,
because he was the completion of that. Not only that, there's no temple for them to burn these offerings at. So if you reject the Christ and you're supposed to maintain the old ways, it's an excuse to say, well, the temple hasn't been rebuilt. Well, you've had 2,000 years. Do you lack the ability to build something that was built 2,000 years ago?
You don't understand.
Because where it has to be.
Yes.
Well, there's that, but the temple has already been rebuilt, and the temple is Jesus.
No, absolutely.
That is a non-Jewish way of looking at it, but okay.
Well, yeah, it's a non-Jewish way because they've rejected the Messiah.
Correct.
That's why it's not Jewish, because
Disgusting.
they've rejected the Messiah. Therefore, they were
No,
going
the
to be
Messiah just
basically
has not
homeless
come yet.
for all eternity. So how can I be a Holocaust denier?
Maritime. It's just my cow. Yeah, redacted. So yeah, even Christians believe that the third temple has to be built. But Jesus didn't meet any of the requirements to be the Messiah. The Messiah is still coming.
And simultaneously say that he claims that I said the Jews did the Holocaust.
You
When I
have on
actually said,
several
in fact, that
occasions.
the synagogue of Satan was responsible for the fully burnt offering, and the victimized Jews were the scapegoats that were fully burnt in the offering.
But he
Along with a
could have
bunch,
mistaken that you thought. Okay, now because of the level at which I do know you, what you meant by what you just said.
See, James the Junior, so sick of counterfeit Christian. Yeah, I mean, look, my dad's a fundamentalist pastor now, and I love my Christian brothers and sisters, because when the Messiah comes, there will be a universal knowledge of God and the ability to choose or reject. It's not a my side wins or your side wins. It's a universal knowledge. There'll be peace on earth, universal knowledge of God. So, and they'll be of the house of David and Solomon.
But there is something there that could be thought of in a different way than you actually intended it.
100% redacted.
When you say that the synagogue of Satan, the false Jews, when you say that, you mean the troublemakers who aren't genuine to Yahweh, who cause trouble for the Jews. So when you say, because of context and relationship, when
I'm a
you
dick.
say
I'm always a dick.
that the synagogue of Satan Jews caused or were the fuel for the Holocaust, someone could take you as meaning you thought the Jews were in charge of and ran it.
no, the to the point where it would be the machinations
Isn't
of
what
those,
you would mean, but
right, the machinations of those who seek to improve themselves and impoverish others with usury, with false witness, with covetousness, that are Jew in name only, but their hearts are far from the Lord. That they are the ones that got a lot of anti-Jewish sentiment throughout Europe and other territories. They are the usual.
So he means the Jews.
109 places.
Right. They are the usual suspects that always do the machinations, call themselves Jews, so that innocent Jews who have done nothing wrong, who are just trying to live like everyone else. Honey, stop itching. He's itching the table. It's shaking my whole thing. That's what very, very heavy German Shepherd decides to itch and he's leaning on her table. Everything moves. So I've explained it ad nauseum. The Jews.
Perhaps I could put this in context for a citizen of the United States. Sorry,
can you? No. I'll listen, but can you two kind of carry it back and forth while I'm?
Yeah, absolutely. I even have a couple of questions for.
Awesome. I'm listening.
Show anyway.
He's making up exactly. Spider
so
dog.
To put this in context for people from within that culture and from within that people, where the Jews versus the synagogue of Satan.
Oh, he's going to tell me what my culture is. This is going to. No, Trump said that's what the Christian Bible retranslated it as. We're set apart to be a light to the world. And we get punished en masse when we are not a light to the world. That's the set apartedness, that it's not anything special. We actually get treated more harshly than others. And we've acted badly to deserve it as well. And a lot of our leaders have brought that on us.
And what that looks like, to look at it from an outside view looking in. If I were living in Brazil today and I were watching the reaction of the citizens of the United States in the election of Trump, in the aftermath of the election of Trump, it would appear to me that 50 to 75% of people with blue or rainbow colored or pink or green hair,
awesome,
that some, perhaps 70% of the U.S. population looked like that and were literally screaming in the street if I went to certain news sources. So that's how you can get a false impression from an outside view. Okay, so the synagogue of Satan Jews, I am sure, is a very, very, very small percentage of total Jews.
There you go. Joga bonito.
They don't represent Jews as a populace or as a religion. After all, they're false Jews. They're not really Jews. But because they are making such a big stink, when you look at it from an outside perspective, they look like they could be very influential or perhaps a majority. But this is a false impression. Now, if Brazil were the greatest nation on the planet and was looking at the United States, the most powerful nation on the planet,
could you say that Revelation 3:9 could be translated as Christians in name only? Yes, Spartan, right? Richard is nailing the bigotry.
planet, and we're looking at the United States and seeing what you saw in
Lola,
certain
but I'm
media
keeping
sources,
keeping it in.
The LGBTQ reaction to things that this administration have said. Well, you could definitely see where a person I'll just stop right there. You can see where a person might get a false impression.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, this is kind of my view of it, really. So basically, it's false witness bearers, right? Yes. So essentially, that isn't the Jewish population on a whole. No. In fact, the people are wonderful people, right? And that's typical with most nationalities, countries of origin, and the people thereof, and that sort of thing. Typically,
the
what happens,
majority of people who don't have some kind of an agenda.
Yeah, typically what happens, and this is so for even our country, right? People will bring false witness. People in power will bring false witness against not only people in low stature, but also other people in higher power. And so this happens all of the time, has happened throughout all of history, with nations everywhere, and people groups, and even in family.
Let me translate. Let's see. Kelly. Wah, 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 wah.
In family, it happens, right?
That cleared up.
False witness bearing happens. And so if we look over across into our neighbor's yard and we see them fighting and screaming all the time, we get this impression that this is the people that they are, when in fact, little Johnny, he's not like that at all, but he just happens to be part of that family, right? And little Sarah, she's, it's the same thing with her. So there are,
I need a break. This is what y'all can
Jew
hear.
at? Where's the Jew at? Let's find the Jew. Jew.
Oh, you're talking about the part with me in Florida and the Skittles in my foreskin. Yeah, okay. No, that was like a wordsmith there.
Okay. Brain cleanse done.
Some people in the people groups, the families, the nations that just bear false witness, and that is the case with certain ones of the Jewish population as well. And there are some people in the positions of power. As we well know, this is just something that happens. People aren't perfect, and then there are some just downright dirty scoundrels in every single people group. And higher echelon definitely isn't any exception to that. And so when I hear the term synagogue of Satan, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, because
exactly,
the synagogue is this leadership position, right? And obviously, if it's a reference to leadership, right, then somebody in power who's very rebellious, a liar, in fact, right? Because Satan was the liar from the beginning.
Oh no! A New Testament figment made up by the church about Satan. Satan was very much a positive figure, without which we could not have free will, and therefore making our lives useless. He is like a prosecutor, an accuser, but he hopes we'll make the right choice. In Jewish theology, of course.
It's a reference to lying, period. They're false witness bearers in this leadership position. It just simply makes sense.
Oh, but I gotta.
It's evidently true in reality. And let's not forget that there is a social evolution influence in what we're saying, what we're talking about, and the impacts thereof. It is so much easier for a human being to accidentally die than purposefully live. To purposefully live, you have a lot of things you have to do every day, and it just doesn't stop. You just have to keep doing this stuff. Like, you have to collect food. You have to prepare food. You have to look for enemies. You have to look for wild beasts. You have to watch out for poisonous things you might stumble across. Blah, 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 blah. All this stuff, right? So we are pre-programmed in survival to be suspicious and look for the negative thing. And then when we look for and find it, we blow it way out of proportion.
He had to take the dog out.
If you know people who emphasize the negative too much, it just means they really want to live. That's what that means. So we have this natural tendency to inflate, if you will, the negative acts and thoughts of people.
Why, thank you, Rats to the Moon. You guys know nothing, and if you're sitting down with Jew haters, then you are a Jew hater yourself. So congratulations. I won't say what I said last night, but it applies. And you can go tell Todd that I haven't taken a single video down. None. Zero. Zilch. So y'all can stop that lie too. Bye-bye.
And give it more attention because of our want on an individual basis and perhaps on a social basis to survive. Okay. So of course the outlier who is saying terrible things that threaten others is going to get to the top of the news. Of course they will.
Yeah, bad news is good news, right? That's the way media
Now that's
works.
why I'm talking about why bad news sells.
Yeah. People like that drama.
Let's see. Yeah, he did strike one of my videos, but he's got to file a lawsuit if he wants if he wants it gone. I hope you're a fake Rats to the Moon. Can either one of my mods look? Because if it is the real one, they are dumb. Oh, sorry. Need to hit play.
We're pre-programmed for it. I mean, we can't help it.
Yeah, we're looking for it because it's something we have to look for. We have to. It's just a matter of should we be doing that, because now we're getting caught up too much and that sort of thing. And actually, that's kind of the part of the Christian doctrine and ideology, is that we don't get caught up in that sort of stuff. That's why we're constantly admonished to do good and look for the good and preach the good and all of that. So yeah. But I had a question about particularly the ability to rebuild the temple. Now here's the question. Now,
I'm not a historian. I must warn you up front. It sounds like you're going to ask me a history question.
Yeah, no. Well, it's been 2,000 years since the temple was destroyed at 70 AD, right? The actual temple. We could go down the rabbit hole on whether Jesus was the temple and Judaism.
Oh, there's worse rabbit holes. That rabbit hole branches off. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. But over 2,000 years, would you consider that Judah, the nation of Judah, or the Hebrews have had the opportunity to rebuild the temple in all of that time?
I don't know that. I literally don't know that. So
no, or we would.
Is
There's a requirement.
Literal years,
the Messiah
enough time
has to come
to rebuild with great detail and caretaking. Exactly the same temple again. Yes, it would be, obviously. Okay. If you had 30 devoted families, they could have done it in 2,000 years. For goodness sakes.
Sure.
There are prophetic things that still have to happen.
And I'm sure there's more than 30 devoted families. Okay, so why isn't it built? Well, there's other things that add into that why it hasn't been rebuilt, of course.
I agree. Yeah, and it does seem as when you look at.
Oh, here he goes, feeding that fucking fuckhole. Yeah, we still don't have Samaria and Judea still lie in control of the Palestinians. Well, he don't know, Wyatt. He just admittedly does not know. Why do my fingers look fat?
At it, it might be like, yeah, why hasn't the temple been built yet? If you're just so, it's so important.
You do know that all of Israel, all the tribes have to be back in Israel for it to happen. All 12 tribes, right? The Messiah has to come.
Important to do it, and then all of this and all of that. But no, there's a lot more to it. It's a little bit more complicated than that. And there's been a lot of things that have happened during that time. And the people who are of that nation that would be building the temple that don't necessarily agree on certain doctrines, even within that belief system of itself.
Of course, cause problems. Yes. Now, is that a spiral pasta cold salad with some kind of vinaigrette in it, or is that a hot dish?
That is
That's
a hot
spicy.
dish.
What is it? It's a hot dish. What's in it?
This is kimchi, kimchi ramen.
Oh, I thought
with,
it was spiral pasta.
It's ramen.
Kimchi ramen with some actual cucumber kimchi on top. With some
Oh, it's at
sesame seed
8:30.
and some
Okay, we'll go to
sesame oil.
8:15.
Oh, it's
See
so
where-
good. It's so delicious.
It
Okay,
looks
so
good.
so here's the interesting thing. And by the way, my wife got me this lovely gift.
Yeah, it's a very cool bowl.
There's something
Yeah, it's where
interesting,
you can lean
y'all.
your chopsticks like right there. It's got,
Another
like, a
interesting thing.
What's the
guess.
hole for your pinky?
I don't know. I think it's for drinking.
For
maybe? I
hanging?
don't know.
So that you can hang it.
I would think hanging. All right, for
Hanging.
You
Hey,
stab your
hang
cigar
on.
in you stab your cigar in the other side while you eat. That's
something. I don't know. So the interesting thing is this, right? If God wants a thing to be so, if God commands that the temple be built, his people would have built the temple. If we ever thought that the reason why the temple is not being rebuilt is because the temple was rebuilt and they actually
God
rejecting the
dang
temple,
it,
which is
Todd.
Jesus Christ. Therefore, they are a stiff-necked people,
No.
full of hubris, and they're going to constantly be wandering and constantly without a true home. Now,
Look, I know I have my Christian brothers and sisters in here, but I just want to preach for a moment. When Jesus was born, 2 BCE to 2 CE, somewhere around there, that 4-year gap. Was there peace on earth? 1. 2, was there a universal knowledge of God? And was there still a temple there, so not necessitating a third temple be built? The answer to all of those is no. The second temple still stood. The second temple stood after his death for another 40 years. 38 years, somewhere thereabout. So none of those things happened. I just want you to consider that and consider what the prophecies really meant. So anyway, we'll carry on. We have about 15 more minutes.
Now,
interesting. Everything in the description of the temple and the building of the temple, taken culturally, is all astrotheology. So to literally build the temple is to mistake the instructions.
So,
oh my God, he don't know anything about it, but aliens.
1981, WCCO Television Minneapolis, Minnesota, aired an hour-long expose of the right-wing paramilitary Christian Patriots Defense League. And you guys let me know anytime you want to pause to respond to it, however you respond. I will definitely pause it, but I'm going to enjoy the heck out of this kimchi ramen. I'm going to eat it. Entitled Armies of the Right, including prominently, and this is why I have a theory.
Oh boy, here we go, theories.
Okay, before we get too far afield in this, you guys see the outline here, and it was right here. It was in Minneapolis. It was December 7th, 1981. Y'all can look it up. You don't believe me? All employed by the ADL. All of these people were employed by the ADL. Actually, I'm kind of rather interested in what his retort was to the stuff we covered earlier.
Me too. Me too. Because I learned a little bit of something back there, and I'm wondering if he didn't learn the same thing.
Yeah. So this is him probably crapping on me with anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
So G2 is definitely Spider Dog. I figured. It's funny how somebody in my channel said whoever that is, that's got to be a female or a male with really, really low testosterone, and he nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So here he is, kind of crapping on me. Listen, hey guys, your eyes are clear eyes.
The idea right now.
I think the moment to show this guy any kind of ounce of respect is kind of in my rearview mirror now. I think I'm just going to call him exactly what he is. He's a little slippery eel.
See how he reacts. Slippery eel. Woo.
Yes, the interlocutor, i.e. G2, was invited almost 2.5 weeks ago, knew that this was going to be set up. So
No,
he was absolutely
you're a
game to do it.
liar.
Matter of fact, he's said on several occasions, he's the smartest dude on any of my panels. So there he is, like a little coward hiding in the shadows, thinking his darkness will hide his sins. It does not. The light shone in the darkness, and Ned couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah, I wanted to respond to that too because I was literally going to put something. And then D-Doc responded, you responded. I want to respond too, man. Jeez. Yeah, it's wild because instead he decided to stream snipe us. But the thing is that he's had ample opportunity to come over here and be civil about it. Instead, what he wants to do is either sit over there on his channel and put out his narrative that we're wrong with no context, or if he ever does come up here, which he's done a couple of times, he sparks out immediately and then eventually calms down. Once we calm him down and be like, hey, we're gonna have a civil conversation here, and then then backstage he's all good for 3 and 4 hours.
Y'all calm
and all of
me
a sudden,
down.
the very next day he's putting out hit pieces and all the garbage, right? So here it is. You're asking a good question. Why is there no debate? Well, there sort of is actually, because there were some things that I didn't understand, right? There were some things that GS didn't understand, and I see. Yeah, well, I see D-Doc as a brilliant moderator personally. He does very well with debates. He's had a few on his channel, and I do believe that's why he was invited. And sure, yeah, I'm sure he's learning right now. Every time that I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to learn. Every day is a new day. Every day is a good day.
Amen.
Y'all are disingenuous cunts, is what y'all are.
Should we extend the olive branch once more? I mean, you never know when someone's going to repent of something they believed before. So is it? He calls himself G2. Is that correct? Do I have that correct?
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
Okay. G2. You could do a simulcast. You could stream this and be over here explaining your position.
No.
Perhaps there's something that Generally Specific has misunderstood about your position, or that I don't know in the first place right now that would actually help
I've
clarify
cleared
things
it
to me.
up with
I mean,
many
it's entirely possible that
videos.
your position is not so outrageous as it seems, but I would never know that, and I'll tell you why I would never know. I'm not going to go over to your channel and view something else on this. Like I actually do have a life to live outside of YouTube, and YouTube's not real life. But I'm here now. If you come over and explain it to me, I would really appreciate that.
Nope.
Well said.
Do you have it on super speed? Because he takes a long time to say words.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
Oh,
there we go. Yeah, but the only thing is that we'll be talking. So,
and then that part
still trying to trap me, Mirrors. Absolutely.
Everyone's already heard that part.
Yes.
I remember what I said. Do you remember what you said?
He keeps showing the same things over and over and over again.
Yeah, he does the weird clippy clip. Play a clip. All that crap.
Yeah, he's trying to like, what do they call it? Poison the water hole, taint. He's trying to create his narrative.
Poison the well.
That's why he went 15 minutes early.
Yeah, it's okay though. All right, here we go. Let's see.
He started this 15 minutes before he was scheduled to show up on this show. Is that correct?
Yeah, he couldn't be available.
I wasn't supposed to do anything. I didn't agree to do anything.
The amount of things that you could learn on this.
What happened? Did you see a vagina?
I'm speeding up.
Hey, you got one.
Out of respect for the people's time in the basement right now, I want to kind of get this rolling as soon as possible. I'm going to skip the whole generally specific intro. I will give some marching orders to my mods. There is one person that will hide. The only thing I would say, and that person knows what they're doing, and every person to hide. And that person has on too. No. Wait. I don't even care.
Did I see a vagina? That's so funny, Todd. Why don't y'all come over here? All three of y'all come over here. I don't have time, but that's what I'll do.
So, Richard, who are you and what do you do?
Oh, I hadn't seen
I'm a heavy equipment operator who I sold my fields and all my belongings to buy a pearl. 2012 February, God interrupted me. I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't hoping for that, and there wasn't anything horribly wrong in my life where I needed something like that. But he did it anyway. So here I am. I feel like a farmer who's just plowing his field along and turns over a chest out of the ground, and in it is the cure to cancer. And he barely even knows what to do with it or to talk to about it. Because he's a farmer, nobody believes it's the cure to cancer. However, they would just read it and understand because it's just obviously true. So now I'm compelled. I want to do nothing else but to talk about the Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ, and what he was trying to say in the text of the Bible, and where he's quoted other places as well.
Holy shit, y'all.
Because I'm not only speaking about these things, I'm learning about these things. And the amount of things that you could learn on this topic is more than
I guess Ned doesn't know how to pause and then respond.
There's no way. And at age 42 and now 56, I'm way behind the power curve. And I really feel like I'm not going to catch up. But that's where I am right now. Why I'm here today. Good night. I just leave off I just keep on breaking.
I was listening. You keep on
7 participants.
You're muted.
So Jared Boston says a little comment says, "Oh, so D-Doc is crazy from the get-go." It's interesting. When I hear D-Doc speak, I hear humility. I hear an eagerness to learn. I hear a confession that he is concerned that he might be so far behind the power.
You gotta look deep down, and anybody who still blames the army for his own mistakes has no respect for me.
Oh, that he might never catch up. I don't understand how that makes him crazy. I think actually, in fact, that makes him very insanely. Okay, well, I guess that's
should I tell a different story? On a regular basis, my main customer gives me their 2 credit cards for Home Depot and Lowe's respectively, and trusts that I will only purchase materials and bring receipts for, and that's just in my wallet. So people who I don't get to talk to
what does that have to do with anything?
Who keep asking me to do more and more work for them seem to have the impression that I'm not crazy and that I am very dependable and trustworthy. To the extent that they volunteer, I would give you their phone numbers now. You can call them for a recommendation.
Right. Boston is a cabana boy. He's a kept man. Exactly. He wears a cabana. He's a pool cleaner. His wife's really rich, has a bunch of properties. He has to clean the pool.
The women tell him what to do.
Yeah, she makes him wear a banana hammock.
Yeah.
That's
And hey, it works for some people, I guess. And this all Boston, the same Boston that claimed to be Christian. So I don't understand how he can't understand some pretty basic illustrations.
There's not a single real Christian on your
Speaking of
panel.
prayer, I would do a personalized show with Ty anytime that he could have serious objections and questions and see if I could answer them because I believe I can.
Who's Ty?
In your chat, someone keeps referring to Ty Pan.
Oh yeah, he's a communist.
That's okay. I don't mind communism.
One of GS's earliest trolls.
Well, no, it's
I like trolls
because he's actually really nice in my my gaming channel. He's actually it's really weird. He's like,
well, you kind of have to be when you go through the gaming channel. It's just you have to. It's something else.
I think he said he was a heavy equipment operator, which
actually he's been kind of nice in this.
And yeah, roofers, buddy. I roofed when I was 15 to 17.
This one too.
Good.
Okay. I don't think he's being too bad. He just annoys the crap out of everyone.
Yeah, that's the reason I think I understand.
Rick Jonesy, who are you? And
So I'm Rick Jonesy. I have a channel on YouTube, and I'm into government accountability. That's kind of my thing. I also believe in the power of Jesus Christ. I believe that for quite some time. And I see the benefit to allowing each man, woman, and child to garner their beliefs for what they find is truth. Allowing that ability is exactly why I believe blindly. Without that ability, I would not be blind. I understand. But I will tell you that the things I've learned have gotten me through some very difficult situations.
Two times on two times is great.
And what it means to me, anyone else believes on the same power. So thank you.
all right, and we got people saying it off and stuff like that. To be fair, so I'm letting you guys know that we're going to go through our time. If it's further than we might have to cancel it, but I want to respect the Lord and the study we're going to do so in honor of Christian. And by the way, the reason why Ned Flanders wants to be not current is because he's afraid some truth might escape that he can't then cover up.
Yeah,
I just skip over. It's a typical F3.
I
bad
skipped
kind of a scenario.
Yeah,
I skipped you playing Gandalf in 3 stupid things. So
I'm sorry, I was looking at a text. What'd you say?
I said I bet you've been getting feedback from me the whole time.
No, not too bad actually.
It really meant was I forgot my earbuds.
You did forget your earbuds. Okay, that's all right though. You guys all sound good to me. All right, so that's saying, let's say hi to everyone in the chat, and we got 40 people watching, and we're going to talk about God. So I expect that to probably drop or increase. I'll let God.
Noah's Ark was a
U.S. law
spaceship
is
derived from its codes. Oh boy, Brick's going to lose his mind. I don't know what that argument is, but
Yeah, so I'm gonna sow. Somebody else can water. Or let God provide the increase if it be so that people want to learn. So I'm gonna bring this up, and okay.
that's little homie and his little bros.
Let me see if I can. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure that out later on, honey. I might be able to add you on a different thing. I'm trying to get her back to admin state so that she can hide stuff and start things like comments and questions that are important. But you want me to introduce myself to the audience? Hi, I'm General Specific. I'm a learner. I'm trying to seek out God's face. I'm trying to become a better Christian, which I seem to be failing miserably. Sometimes because of my own ego and pride and my own self-interest. I've not died to myself as much as I should, and I understand that this tongue is usually the last thing that the average Christian will surrender.
How do you come from the way you were acting with Chris Ruff, essentially saying that he was going to end him not 30 minutes ago?
He's not very good at providing commentary about the actual content, is he?
No, it's kind of interesting that that's what he gets out of the whole narrative, huh? Okay.
It just seems argumentative instead of commentary, actually.
I can do what I want. It's my channel. Whatever. I'll do what I want.
Here's the thing, because if you don't show it, it doesn't actually happen, right? It doesn't exist, right? So why am I getting multiple texts saying you're live saying finger pop Ruff's asshole? No, I don't want to finger pop his asshole. I think Bear should, and they can finger pop each other's assholes. Would strongly suggest you avoid me at all costs when I'm in town. So he's coming to my neck of the woods, and this egomaniac thinks that he can tell me, a free American, served his country, where I can and can't inhabit.
Thank me for my cervix.
He's not. He's not going to do it.
Not going to do what?
He's not going to go. I can tell you right now.
I don't. Well, if he does, he's probably going to have a warrant for his arrest waiting for him. I could guarantee
because you're a
that.
snitch.
You can call me a victim and a pussy all you want, dude.
You
broke the law. You committed a crime, and now you're going to pay the maker for it. Well, just add that to the other warrants you have.
Can't stand 10 toes, Todd. Can't stand 10 toes.
Sure thing, Pudding. This is my response to him. Sure thing, Pudding. Sounds threatening. Just remember, the line starts way back there, stud, because there's a long line of people wanting to come punch me in the nose, brah. You're seeing it all over the place. People don't like the truth, it seems. So his response was, and look, I did respond to all of his texts. See the little heart emoji that I left?
Mm-hmm.
I gave him a little heart emoji. So he says I didn't respond to him. again, Chris Ruff, you're a liar, and you do your father's bidding. That is absolutely 1,000% a threat. If I see you in the flesh when I come to Kentucky, I'm going to beat the fucking brakes off of you. Do you understand, old man? So, okay, so now he's an ageist. That's going to be a hate crime against old people. I guess he just beats up random like old ladies walking home with their groceries. Just plays. Do you play the knockout game with old people because they're so disgusting to you, Chris? Old man, do I need to spell it out more effing clearly for your stupid old retarded ass?
Yep,
I will effing
always
beat you senseless, old man. Got it? Check yourself before I effing wreck you. Short little midget, effing fairy. So now he's got a problem with gay little people now. I think they'd like to be called little people, Chris. I don't really consider myself a little person, but if you do, why don't you start calling me a little person from now on? Okay. Otherwise, I'll send the alphabet soup group to cancel you, Chris.
You don't know anybody in the
another
alphabet
long-winded
soup group.
Spurg session by good old, and he has the audacity to call me an emotionally explosive veteran or something like that, as he's literally blowing up my phone like a thirsty, jilted ex-girlfriend. Rough. I don't care how big you can make your prison wallet. I don't want to fit anything but my boot in your ass. That said, he says, you have no effing clue, mother effer. Do you want to, and by the way, I'm trying to clean it up. Do you want to drag this S online too? I'll dry up your little swamp of effing support, you little midget F. You've been making way too many effing threats. Wow. Okay, that's not going to age well, Chris. Making too many effing threats online publicly, you stupid mother effer. I'm done with that S. I'm done trying to play nice.
Big time.
I'm just going to beat the effing brakes off of you. God, that sounds like so much freaking fun. That simple. You think you're effing tough, dude. No. I'm just a man. I'm a man with a little bit of training. Good luck. And
with a little bit of training.
Ryder. So now he's not Chris Ryder. He spelled Ryder wrong. Must have been like text to speech or something. I'm not some effing chump online. I will actually hurt you, you stupid mother effer. Now, it's been said by one of my favorite auditors. It's the dog that barks the most that never seems to bite, Chris.
He had a day of
and
sniper
according to your own
training.
testimony, your crazy friend was the one that did all the violence, and you just sat there in the back seat. I don't know, probably finger pulling yourself. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe you are a psychotic, Chris. But I will tell you what, I'm going to take every single one of these threats that you've proffered and put on my phone across state lines as very, very intimate threats and very, very serious threats. And I will take them very, very seriously. I will not underestimate you, Mr. Ruff. I said, and that's so
you
I
underestimate
officially saying to cease and desist all communication to my device as of 2/14/2025. So that was my cease and desist that I told them. Basically, now
cease
you can say whatever you want about Tiffany and Chris. At least they show some respect when I asked them to stop communicado with me. It's no longer warranted. Any further communicado will be considered harassment. And you're trying to alarm me. Yeah, you can call me a victim. You can call me a pussy. You can call me all kinds of things. Call me whatever you want. I'm not a fucking felon. And it's going to be a shame if your sons don't grow up and without having to
you're
visit
talking
their dad
about
in jail
Brick
because he can't keep his cunt mouth shut. Sorry, Lord, forgive me on that one. So he says, "Get effed, pussycat. Call the cops, you or something, you little b." So he's realizing, but he can't stop himself because he's got no impulse control. But I'm the emotionally out of control veteran, right? Okay.
Don't contact
he says, you want
my
to bump
device.
your effing gums like a tough guy on the internet and then send me some official, quote unquote, official.
I know, Tommy, that's hilarious.
To cease and desist F word or F slur S. Shut the F up, lame.
You're good. We're about to close shop so we can go over to
on your phone that allows
take a break
you to
and go over to Shiz's.
Dumbass. Why don't you effing
Hey,
use
Carrie
it?
T, how are you?
Midget F. Okay. Then he says, I'm going. Here's the final part because he hasn't expressed to me enough how he's going to, he's going to give me a good old fashioned Italian tune up. It's cute, cupcake.
He's
gonna
swearing
hurt
out a
you.
warrant, Spider
You're
Dog.
not going to threaten me publicly. Never threatened you, dude. Sounds like finger popping your asshole would be a good time for you with all the stuff
Yes,
you've described.
in
You
order.
fit up your asshole in prison. Your words, not mine, Chris. Everything is just going to be all cool, mother effer. You got another thing.
You're going to get
coming,
your
dumb
ankles
F.
all bit
Well,
up.
there's a lot of lore behind that where, yeah, on several occasions, I went into his channel and did not take offense to the things that he claimed were not meant to be offensive. Came into his channel, said, I'm here to support, and he laughed at me. Not only did he laugh at me, he continued to degrade me to other people and also publicly on his chat. Although, because he smoked so much marijuana, he probably doesn't remember half the things that he said. But I do have mods that went in there. They were still trying to support the guy because I didn't publicly go against the guy at the time. Other than when you come into my channel, this is my house. You don't get to rearrange my furniture and take liberties as a moderator in my channel, Christopher Ruck. So, and when I say, hey, I'm the one who hides on my channel, and you immediately text me and try to drag your nutsack across me, like there's some kind of like dominant submissive thing going on between us, Christopher Ruff, you definitely got me confused with some bitches on your cell block. Because that whole posturing, I'm insane kind of crap, that only goes when you're dealing with a bunch of sane people, Christopher Ruff. Because I can get real crazy real quick. Just ask anyone who's been in my orbit for any length of time and has gone after anyone in my family, just how quickly I go shark eye. Not a threat, bro. It's a reality check. You should pay attention. Because I'm definitely paying attention to you, and I'm taking your threats very, very seriously, Mr. Ruff. Very seriously. And I refuse to be a victim, by the way, because A, I'm not a Jewish man, I'm a Gentile. So I don't have that victimhood mentality and status over me, like some kind of like shield and sword. Right.
Sword
so anyway,
and shield,
let's backtrack. So it's interesting that he
One
said
minute, y'all.
that I was talking about ending Christopher Ruff. I will say it again for the record. Any of you miscreants that wish to come to my home, my internet, my address is all over the internet. I've got screenshots of it being all over the internet. And in all these like shiz and all these other, well, maybe they took it down now, and all these little Discord platforms and stuff. Yeah, it's all over the internet. You know where I live. I'm not a hard man to find. Okay. But if you have and
Lego violence,
do me or my family harm, you will find me not to be an easy victim. I wouldn't recommend it, but life is about choices. Choices have consequences. And if you play stupid games, you're going to win some stupid prizes. I keep saying shalom, and you keep choosing war.
Sir,
you
if
never
I could,
say shalom.
Yes, I'm done.
It's been 2 hours since I had a cigarette, which.
All righty, y'all. Let's take 10, and I will see everybody over at Shiz's house to get any updates, and then see what the boss man has, if we're going to do anything afterwards. So there it is. It's kind of, was what it was. Thank you, Johnny Boy. Thank you, Spider Dog, for allowing me to share your first premiere. And I will see you all over there. Good night.